So the last thing we're going to do is we're going to prepare this for a final render so we can take it into After Effects and render it out. So this was my first kind of pass that we just did when we were doing our lighting setup. There's a couple things right away that I want to look at to change. You see in here it's kind of grainy, and so there's something we can do to change that. I want to hide the light. I want to render this alpha channel out, so everything that's in black here I can manipulate the background and play with it. And then I also want to play with a depth of field pass so that I can, I could fake the blurriness of like these poker chips up here and up here, but some of them back here I think we could add some depth of field. It would kind of create something really cool. So I'm just going to show you quickly how to do those couple things. So first of all, to create a depth of field pass, the very first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to hide this spotlight. So with the Grayscale Gorilla's Light Kit Pro, you just select the light that you want and just check Scene by Camera and Scene Editor, and that'll be gone. Then what I'm going to do is show you guys how to set up a depth of field. So to set depth of field, you have your camera, and basically you want to set kind of what your focus point's going to be and where, what you're going to focus on, what's going to be in a focus, out of focus. So select your camera, go to focus distance, and pull in where you want to focus. So I'm going to focus on the title card or kind of right in front of it. And then I'm going to go to details. I'm going to add front blur and I'm going to add rear blur. So you can see right away it adds the other two lines past your focus object. So if I end my front blur right here, that means it's going to start going out of focus on this point and then slowly progress out of focus up to here. So I'm probably going to have it start, end about here, so it's a soft pull all the way out. And then for the end side of it, I'm going to have it slowly kind of fade out over time all the way out of focus to, not over time, over distance, way back in my background somewhere. So these things aren't super soft, but they progress to get softer. So then it's as simple as going into your render settings and changing or adding the effect, depth of field, and your blur strength, and then you'll see pretty much right away what that'll do. So if I just do active render region, just do something like this, and we'll see pretty quickly how the depth of field will affect these couple areas here. So you can see that background is really out of focus and the foreground is a little soft, but not a ton. So I'm going to change. I don't like how soft that background is because I lose all the detail. In fact, what does this guy, oops. Let's see here how out of focus this front chip is. Okay, so they're both pretty out of focus. I don't know if I love how out of focus the background is necessarily. So let's take a look at that and see what we can do about that. I could push my focal point back. You can see the distance or the difference in distance. Like these chips, when I set the scene, are way further back than these chips, so the focus isn't even. So let me see here what else I could do. I'm kind of thinking I'm just going to kill the rear blur and just have a little bit of front blur on this one. So let's go to my render settings and we'll set up some of those final render things I was telling you about. So you want to make sure output settings are set. Do 1920 by 1080, that one frame. You're going to click save and you're going to pick your location by hitting the ellipses here. So I'm going to render it to here. Final poker scene render. Okay. And I'm going to do alpha channel. And I always check straight alpha as well. We're not doing multi-pass. Anti-aliasing is what's going to help with some of the fuzziness. So I'm going to up that to 2x2, 4x4. Here you can adjust things like your global brightness or your ray depth, things like that. Shadow, reflection, and transparency. Leave all that the same. Something that would be really nice for this because of all the poker chips and stuff would be some ambient occlusion. So without going too much into what that is, I'm just going to turn it on and show you quickly what that does. So it's kind of like in areas like this, you can see like how the light is hidden under the chip and under the edges. That actually one's probably not the best. Let's do it up here. It adds the subtleness of and the softness of light that gets lost inside of these little cracks, inside of these little areas where shadows don't always necessarily do. So I'm going to turn that on. And then when it's ready to go, you basically click your render button and it'll render it out for you. So we'll do that now.